Yes, I need to switch on the camera. I should not
Yeah,
use headsets.
yeah,
So one person will be also watching. So it is 100%
that's
foolproof.
good. That's good. No, there are safeguards built into it. I agree, but there is always someone who's trying to bypass them.
Of course, we are writing the code, so we know how to insert the
Right,
exemption.
right. So, so people do try hard to get past things, to obstacles. Das ist menschliche Natur, ne? Das ist die menschliche Natur. Also da kann man nichts dagegen tun. So, man kann nur also die Sicherheitsmaßnahmen in Kraft setzen, put them into force. Aber inwieweit man erfolgreich ist, es kommt darauf an. So, jetzt, once again, problem. Why? Was bedeutet network stability is poor?
It's
Can you explain to
fluctuating.
me, please?
Yeah, it is not stable. It is fluctuating. The frequency is fluctuating.
Why is it fluctuating? This is 300
No,
Mbps. Even here
you
it
you
fluctuates?
you 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 can't do anything on that. This is because from the transmitter or from the receiving. Get at
I bought a new modem and it is 300 Mbps that I have now.
capable of receiving 300 Mbps, but how much is getting transmitted? That is a problem.
My download speed is 294, upload is 256.
Uh, then just ignore that message. Probably it will work.
Yeah, it must be my computer pretending to be lazy or too busy. Da kann ich nichts tun. So the computer wants a break. Your network stability is poor, impossible. Anyway, I switched off my phone now. I put it on the other network. I have 3 networks at home. So that there is no no interruption whatsoever. I've also got a UPS fixed in 3 rooms for all the 3 networks.
Super.
The guy who came, he says, "Sir, I'll make it for the whole house." I said, "I don't want it for the whole house. My
Yeah,
computer should
it's
not
not
go off, my
advisable.
modem should not go off. I don't want it for the
Yeah,
whole house."
particularly with heaters, your fridge, your
Yeah,
uh,
genau. So I said, I don't
geyser
want it.
and other thing.
I don't want anything. Just one room, my laptop, and my modem. That should be on. There are 2 other modems. I want them also to be on. The routers and stuff, they also should be on in that room. So power should be there to the switchboard. That's it. So that's done. So hopefully power now will not go and we will not be interrupted like we
So
used to
have you
be
entered
earlier.
this thing AMC with this guy, inverter guy?
We don't have AMC systems in Telangana in that sense.
Okay, then in that case, a small
It,
hint is
it,
please
it yeah,
make an
it,
schedule in
it
your calendar. Once in 3 months, you check the
yeah,
water
yeah,
level. At least once. Yeah, that's very
yeah,
important because
yeah,
people are losing their battery because of that.
correct. But this guy has given me a good one. It's a, I think 5-year warranty on
Eh,
the battery and stuff. It's a pretty heavy
That's
duty
right.
stuff.
Even the
And
warranty is not
yeah, that's true.
valid. If the water level is not
What
maintained,
it,
it is your fault.
yes, this is the fine print. Yeah, that's why I say what he has told me, you call me anytime, I will be there, have a look, and then go away. So don't worry. It works by word of mouth in most cases in Telangana. It's that mahuna kind of thing. So that's okay. A little bit of trust here and there, goodwill and trust shown in business
No,
also
but
goes a
it's a
long
very
way.
very small thing. We can have a look
Yeah,
once in
true.
3 months. That's all.
That's true. So since it's been just about a month old that I got it fixed. So before summer starts here, I'll ask him to come and have a look again. My problem will start in summer. Power cuts.
Yeah.
Hmm? So, beginnen wir mit unserer Arbeit. Und zwar, habt ihr Fragen? So, eigentlich, also bevor wir damit beginnen. Wir haben gestern mal gesehen, also wie man einen Lebenslauf schreibt oder was alles hier in einem Lebenslauf zu enthalten ist, zu schreiben ist. Und wie man ein Vorstellungsgespräch durchführt. Oder gibt es Fragen hier? Die Doppelkonnektoren, ohne zu, anstatt zu, damit, um zu. Keine Fragen?
Ja, ich habe keine Frage.
Okay. Dann seid ihr mit dem deutschen Bildungssystem vertraut. Wer kann was darüber erzählen? Who can tell me something about the German educational system? Are you aware of that?
When Premata and Monica are not telling, then I can share something.
What is this German educational system? How does it work? Have you heard about
Already
it?
we have
Read
discussed this
about it?
topic. We can go ahead
Yeah.
once again. Nothing wrong. Yeah.
Then come back here. This in brief is a picture. I've deliberately brought the German version in spite of the English words that you see here. And then I brought the English version. See, the German version looks exactly like the English version. This is English, and there's also a German version of this Bildungssystem. The point is, there is no difference between the two, excepting the language use. This is das Deutsche Bildungssystem. And the picture that is here is similar to what we have on the other side. So, now as you see here, schooling begins. If you want to further subdivide it, you have the Primärbereich, Sekundärbereich into two, and then the Tertiärbereich. The primary, secondary, and the tertiary ranges. So, und darunter gibt es auch diese formale Bildung, non-formale Bildung und informelles Lernen. On this surface, it looks very complicated, but it's a very simple system. Compulsory schooling begins from the age of 6. Here, Schulpflicht. That age, unfortunately, is not given here. Grundschule, this here, what you see, this line that you see here. Also, hoffentlich könnt ihr denn meinen Bildschirm sehen, alle?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
From the age of 6, it's compulsory.
Yeah, it's
Before
Pflicht.
that, ja, das ist Pflicht. So, das Wort hier ist Schulpflicht. I won't invest too much time here, but one should have an idea about what the schooling system in Germany is like when compared to the Indian schools. For a simple reason, we may have to narrate something about the school system, either in India or abroad, in the oral exam, 2-minute topic. So how does it work? Before you go to school or before a child goes to school, bevor ein Kind eine Schule besucht, also vor 6 Jahren, da geht das Kind in den Kindergarten oder in den Kita. Kita ist eine Abkürzung, abgekürzt. Und eigentlich, das ist ein Akronym sozusagen. From Kindertags. Who can tell me that? Kita.
No, we know only Kita. Yeah, ich weiß nur die Abkürzung.
Yeah. What is it? What does it contain? What does it have? What is this
No, that's
Kita?
why it is for the less than 6 year child.
Morgan, sir.
Informal education
Morgan,
system.
hello.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ich weiß, because 0 to 3 year, it is a Kinderkrippe.
Yeah.
Krippe planner, na? Like this.
Mhm.
And after 3 to 6, that is elementary.
Not yet, not yet, not yet.
Means?
The Kindergarten Alter, it begins right from the age of 3, literally, 3 or 4.
Yeah,
They don't
3
insist.
to 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't insist on that. It's not compulsory.
Mm-hmm.
So this Krippe is
Yeah,
creche. The word
Kinderkrippe.
creche,
Creche.
in English, creche,
Creche.
C-R-E-C-H-E.
Creche. Yeah. Creche.
Creche, creche. It's a French word. So creche. It is used in German as Krippe, Kinderkrippe, where children are taken care of the entire day.
Yeah, we know.
The entire day. And the short form for that is Kita. Then they go to the kindergarten, which is also a kind of a creche, where children are taught things, but basically to play. Nothing
Yeah,
more.
yeah.
Their motor skills are developed, how they handle things, use their fingers. All those are taught till the age of 6. From the age of 6, also ab 6 Jahre, Schulpflicht ist da. So jedes Kind soll in die Schule gehen. Jedes Kind.
Yeah. The good thing I observed is it's a Pflicht für beide. Die Eltern und die Regierung.
Please use the Doppelkonnektor, Vasu. Sowohl die Eltern als auch die Kinder.
Nicht nur die Eltern, sondern auch die Regierung.
Die Kinder und die Eltern, alle. Also, if you look at the Regierung, ja. Auch ja. So, die Regierung macht auch Kontrolle.
Yeah. They check and they'll ensure that we are in the school.
Genau.
If you do not go, police will come. Yeah.
Correct, absolutely. So, das ist Schulpflicht. Jedes Kind. When I say jedes, you can think of exceptions also in terms of children who are unable to walk or go.
Behinderkind.
Whoever, they could be challenged in whatever way. There are special schools for them also. There is no excuse for having a child about the age of 6 at home, especially if you are there for a longer period of time. A tourist doesn't have to send his child to school. But if you're staying in Germany for longer than a period of 1 year, up to 6 months, they'll allow you. Your child need not go to school. But beyond that, you are obliged. Also, man ist verpflichtet, obliged to send the child to school. Verpflichten. V-A-R-P-F. Okay, now this looks confusing. As you see, it's a very beautifully detailed thing given in Wikipedia. But simplify it is we have this here. So I chose the English version. As you can see, there are so many nice English words here. Gymnasium, Realschule, Hauptschule, Gesamtschule, Realschulabschluss, Abitur. See how lovely these English words are. The reason is simple. There is no equivalent for these words in English. Since there is no equivalent, they have used the same German words. Very happily, they're called Grundschule as elementary school. This is Grundschule. So the first 4 years. So from the age of 6, 7, 8, 9. At the age of 9, wenn das Kind 9 Jahre alt ist, muss das Kind jetzt eine Wahl treffen. Welche Schule soll das Kind besuchen? So, is it Gymnasium, Realschule, Hauptschule oder Gesamtschule? People have tried to give English words for it. You can give English words for it provided you have that schooling system with you. What we follow in India is still a remnant of the British system of schooling.
Macaulay system.
Yes. We still stick to that pattern. The only funny thing that we have done now is we made BA 4 years and MA only 1 year. Under the new policy. Das habe ich nicht verstanden. How can your master's be of only 1 year? And a BA of 4 years? It's beyond my comprehension. I don't want to even think about it. I'm glad I'm out of that system. So now, how does it work? From here, you choose. At this level, there is some counseling offered to the child. There is a student counselor in most of the schools. That counselor, depending on conversations with the parent and the class teacher, looks at the aptitude of the child and suggests the direction that a child can take. Gymnasium is the academically inclined part of school for those who are academically inclined, who are good at studies. They go into this gymnasium. The others, they have this choice of going into a Realschule, Hauptschule, and Gesamtschule, where the syllabus is more or less the same. The only thing is the time spent at school is 1 year more or 1 year less. And this is fascinating to look at. Look at also the special school that you see here, right up to school leaving. Special school, we understand, I think you all know what it means, special school. For special, no excuse. So under this system, Realschule, Hauptschule, Gesamtschule, some people call it comprehensive school, some call it the main school, some call it this school, grammar school, and all that. Don't go by those nomenclatures. It doesn't work. Stick to this here. A Realschulkind will be there at school for up to class 10. There the student gives a Realschulabschluss. Having said that, a person in gymnasium also can quit school after class 10 and write the Realschulabschlussprüfung and leave school. For such people, the next step is a vocational school. This is the Berufsschule, literally. They choose a vocation, a profession or a vocation, and they go through the theory and the practical part in this vocational school. At the same level, a Hauptschule has this choice of leaving it 1 year earlier than a Realschule. The same with the Gesamtschule. This is called your Hauptschulabschluss. This can be done at the Realschule. See the flexibility. A Realschule also need not go up to 10. He can also leave at 9. Do the Hauptschulabschluss. Here also Hauptschulabschluss. And then move straight to vocational school. Or in a Gesamtschule, you stay up till 10, do your Realschulabschluss, go to vocational school. Or in a Gesamtschule, it's less intensive. You do up to class 12, go and do your Abitur. This is a tough exam, by the way. Abitur, das Abitur. And the person who takes this exam or who is appearing or candidate is called an abiturient. A person who is writing the Abitur is abiturient. And the short form is ABI, ABI. You might come across it in some texts. So 12 years of schooling. As you can see from this picture, the flexibility which is there for a child to move from one system of schooling to another system, depending on that child's aptitude. The child is not blamed at all for showing a lesser aptitude at a higher level. Joined the gymnasium full of hope. I'll finish the 12, but somewhere I can't do this anymore. So there the father doesn't make the child sit in front. I am an engineer. My father was engineer. My great-grandfather was engineer. My great-great-great-grandfather was engineer. We come from the family of Rama and Hanuman. They were also engineers. You ought to become an engineer. Nothing is forced. No, I can't do this. I want to join a profession now, some vocation, something somewhere. So they quit. Take this exam, which is not as intensive as Abitur, and then move to the vocational school. So that option is given to them. Those who finish the Abitur, normally the next step about this is university. State, the higher level of study. This is just the schooling system, not the higher education. So this is more than enough for us to know. So remember these names: Realschule, Hauptschule, Gesamtschule, and then Gymnasium. Don't confuse this gymnasium with the gymnasium that we have here. So here, Gymnasiale Oberstufe Gymnasium, class 12, class 13. Now this has come down. It's now 12. I think many states have brought it down to 12. There used to be 13 earlier. 13 years of school. They go straight into the university. Then sometimes Fachhochschule, Weiterbildung, they learn parallelly. Now the interesting part here is those who come out of the Realschule or Hauptschule, they enter the Schulberuf system or the Berufsschule or some kind of. They have the freedom to go back to an Abendschule. Remember, this is the earliest Schulabschluss. This level, see this dotted line? So later on in life, if they want to, they feel incomplete that we finished our school or we stopped school after 9 years. I want to complete it. They go back to that level, rejoin school in the Abendschule. Das ist das duale System oder das zweite System, Bildungssystem. They join this and they are free to continue their education. Age is not a barrier. And they can come out of this, go into further education or take the Abitur also. And from here, later on in life, they can still join the university. I can't imagine this kind of flexibility in our country in at least the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years. It's not there. Some 7, 8 years back, no more than that, about 10 years back, the universities introduced a kind of a system where a student of arts and humanities could choose any subject offered by the university in their system as a credit course, any extra subject. So if I'm learning German, zum Beispiel, I'm doing my MA in German, I could choose astronomy. I could choose genetics. I had this option. But I did not study that in detail, just the basics. So, which meant that I was exposed to other disciplines, other subjects. So, I was teaching German then, and I had a brilliant group of students from the sciences, in addition to the arts and humanities, learning German in one room. One was a student of chemistry. There were 2 or 3 from computer science. They had to come only 2 times in a week. Very basic German. Hallo, guten Morgen, wie geht's? Wo wohnen Sie? Was machen Sie? Very, very basic German. Some of them continued. That's a different story. But that fell out very quickly because the teachers were unhappy. Please don't ask me for the reasons. I don't want to mention it. Many teachers were unhappy with that. Because that course had to be redesigned for including these people. I was only too happy to redesign the course. I had no problems. So that interdisciplinary thing, moving from one subject to another, was introduced as an experimentary basis. It failed. It didn't work in India. Now we are back to the usual. Und das ist das System hier. So, talking about Beruf and so on, in the same, naturally Beruf bedeutet, man muss dann Bildung und Ausbildung beides haben. Deswegen diskutieren wir das hier ganz kurz. Wie läuft oder wie funktioniert das deutsche Bildungssystem? This is a very brief map given here in dem Buch. Das ist auch gut. Also im Alter von 18, Klasse 13, normally about 18 they finish their school. From Gymnasium, Studium an Universität, Hochschule oder Fachhochschule. The differences here are very simple. Universität, Hochschule and Fachhochschule, all of them come under one cover term, university. One term in English, university. So Fachhochschule or Hochschule is not high school. Don't translate it. A Hochschule is also a university. The only difference here, the word Universität and a university is the only institution officially entitled to issue a degree. The other two issue your diploma, which is in no way inferior to a degree. The Hochschule and Fachhochschule, they are specific universities. They also issue degrees, but they are not called degrees, they're called diplom. Also man ist dann Diplom-Ingenieur zum Beispiel. He doesn't come out with a BE Tech, but he comes up with a Diplom-Ingenieur, Diplom-Wissenschaftler, because he studied at a Hochschule or a Fachhochschule, FAS. That's the only difference. So those who finish this level, the class 12, class 13 level, as you see here in this picture, they go straight to the university. These two arrows show you that. But a guy who doesn't want to study further, or a girl who doesn't want to study further, go to university, she again has this option of moving to a Berufsschule, Berufsfachschule, or a Fachschule. So this is an overall simplified map. Age of 17, 18, starting at 6 here. So by the time they finish their class 13, I think there are still some states pending which have not reduced the class number. I need to check that and then inform you, unless you people are willing to check it yourselves. I think München is still, no, Bayern is still 13.
NRW is 13.
Yeah, it's still 13. Some states are still 13. I think Schleswig-Holstein has made it 12 in the north. And I'm not sure about Hessen. They also said, I think, 12. I need to check that. They're not happy. Remember, education there is a state governed thing,
Decision.
not central government governed. So the states are free to adjust accordingly. This is similar to the Austrian and the Swiss system. Similar, not exactly the same, but definitely similar. We don't have to learn that right now or even look at that. You'll find them more or less similar. But this is fascinating. 13 years you spend at school. Here, so in +2 is called junior college. I don't know why that nomenclature has to be changed. I mean, some ego problem here maybe. That you're still at school in class 12. No, it's called junior college. And so
It's only in
overall,
AP, not in Tamil Nadu.
oh, in AP, yes, yeah. I'm talking of AP here. I should have qualified that. Telangana and AP, it's called junior college, +2. But it actually it's a school exams. They write the school boards, the 12th class boards. We don't have 13 years of schooling. We only have 12. Here, class 1 is at the age of 6. Age of 6. Which I think is quite delayed in terms of Indian system. I think we start at 5, if I'm not wrong, 1 year earlier or 2 years earlier. Again, it depends on the state that one is in.
Still, Indians will complain about the schools, because even in school, up to third or fourth standard, they compare with Indian third or fourth standard school children, and they say, "Oh, in India, people are doing multiplication, division, all those things. Here now they are talking only, teaching only the numbers and
Correct,
very
correct,
basic things."
correct. Although
Probably
it starts off much,
Priyamada
yeah,
will agree with me.
it starts off much earlier here. It
Yeah,
starts
yeah.
off much earlier here. That's good and also bad. You can look at it both ways.
But when they are coming to the 12th standard, Abitur, their standard is par with Indian standard. So why should we hurry? That's my question.
That's true, but then children absorb a lot very quickly.
That's it.
So
But at the
starting,
end of the day, when they are coming to the 17 or 18th age, they are par with us. So why should we push them when they are young?
that's true again, but the point is the syllabus that is covered is varied in both. In our schools, we are taught about geography of Argentina. We are not able to identify Argentina on a world map. Why do we have to know about the pampas of the Argentine landscape? I mean, the syllabus is vast. We talk about savannas and the pampas and the Peruvian mountains, and what do we have to do with it?
Jaguar, ultimately.
As information, yes, but it's a whole lesson devoted with questions which are asked. So we need a total overhaul of the syllabus. Right? So a basic idea of was also wie das funktioniert. So when you talk about a Beruf, dieser Mann hier, also unser Freund von gestern oder von vorgestern, the way he gave his Vorstellungsgespräch und Architektur hat er studiert. Und außerdem, wir haben auch diese Aufnahmeprüfungen. We also have entrance exams to get into the higher studies. So these kind of common entrance exams, CET as they're called now, common entrance tests, are not there in Europe. To get into an engineering college or a medical college, you have to write a JEE or a NEET, NEET, or some other qualifying exam. We don't have these, they don't have these kind of tests. And there's a cutoff point here. Can you imagine 3 months back when the university lists were announced for Delhi University, or was it 4 months? To the undergraduate courses, BA, BSc, they put up these student lists depending on the applications that they got, the university got. The cutoff point, I'm talking about economics honors, that's what I studied, BA honors economics. The cutoff point for BA honors economics was 99.4%. Anybody who
Oh.
got, yes, please.
So,
Had
but
I
I
been,
don't know how people get these type of numbers, because at our
yes, Monica.
time it was very difficult to get this.
Monica, I passed with 61%. It was big
Same,
news.
same like this. I
First
passed with
division.
65% and masters with
Oh, see, you had
72%.
more marks than I did.
No,
That
no, no.
doesn't matter.
Actually, I
61%
think there
was
was.
huge. I was the news of the town, talk of the
Hmm.
town. Array 61%. My God, first
इकोनॉमिक्स में
division.
वो भी
Economics में first division.
या ऐसे ऐसे ही बोलते थे.
I mean, if I take those marks today, I would not survive.
Yeah, same like
I would
this.
have been illiterate.
Yeah, we are
99.4.
nothing, na. I'm not nothing in
So
front of
our
the
system is
today's.
different. We have to be open, and of course, we can always be subjective. Das ist gut, nicht gut, da kann man auch dann ein paar Argumente vorlegen. Aber man muss das schon wissen, bevor man etwas argumentiert. So a rough idea if you have, let's not go deep into a television discussion. Ministry level discussions we don't need. A rough idea. Ja, das ist gut, nicht gut. Also ich meine, meiner Meinung nach, also so viel, warum sollen die Studenten, die Schüler so viel studieren, so viel lernen? Das kann man auch
Sir,
ändern.
sorry, can you just continue the sentence? Meiner Meinung nach. So, where should I put the verb now? Can you
Soll,
just give me a sentence?
soll. Meiner Meinung nach
No,
soll.
no. After this or meiner Meinung nach ist, I should
Soll.
start oder?
Ja, ist. Meiner Meinung nach ist der
Okay.
Schüler nicht
Then
in
I
der
can put
Lage,
my
so viel zu lernen.
opinion.
Ja. Da kommt sofort, also das Verb kommt sofort danach.
Okay.
You can also use this. Einerseits und andererseits. All these connectors will come into play. On the one hand, your parental pressure. On the other hand, your peer pressure. Also die Eltern wollen, dass die Kinder viel studieren oder besser studieren als sie selbst.
Druck von Gesellschaft auch.
Ja. Andererseits die Gesellschaft. There are always comparisons made. How much did you get? 99.9. What about that 0.1%? Yeah, 99.9. But why are you worried about that 0.1? And comparisons. You know that that boy, that so and so uncle, that aunties, he scored so much, or she scored so much. So these plus and minus, please be prepared, because these are again topics which are possible, potential at this level, B2, education, Bildung, Ausbildung, job, Beruf. So a little bit of an idea, if you have, you can safely talk for 2 minutes. Don't be afraid to give a personal view, but always preface that with meiner Meinung nach. So, was soll ein Kind tun, wenn das Kind mit der Schule fertig ist? Sie haben einen jüngeren Bruder oder Sie selber sind in dieser Lage. Sie haben die Schule fertig, was jetzt? Und bekommt man einen Job gleich nach der Schule, gleich nach dem College? Sollen Jobs und Stellen mit dem Studium, mit dem Bildung oder mit der Bildung verknüpft werden? Should they be connected? Should jobs and studies, academics be connected? Remember, B2 level, they are expecting a slightly higher bit of thinking here, especially in a foreign language. Any questions here? Let's not concentrate too much on this. I'm not too keen on doing this in detail. 9. Keine Fragen mehr?
I would like to just correct my sentence. Es ist nicht nur für die Regierung okay, I want to say it is not only the duty of the parent, but also the duty of the government.
Yeah, so how will you put it?
Let me make the sentence. So, es ist nicht nur für die Pflicht der Regierung, sondern auch der Eltern.
Yeah, but it would be easier also to make it with sowohl als auch. Sowohl die Regierung als auch die Eltern haben diese Pflicht zur Bildung.
Okay, no. Why I put that format is I want to use genitive. So.
Okay, but this is easier to express. Sowohl als auch.
Okay.
Okay, now what will you put here in this letter? Das haben wir gestern nicht gemacht, what have we? How will you practice? So, was kommt hier unter Nummer 1? Ich mache die ganze Übung nicht.
Oh, it's a letter, okay.
Ja, it's a letter. Das ist ein Brief, also hier.
Okay.
So, was kommt hier?
Betreff. So here.
Also wir sollen aus diesem Kasten auswählen.
Wählen, ja. Ich gucke einmal.
Mhm.
Bewerbung als Kaufmann.
Bewerbung als Kaufmann ist richtig.
Sehr geehrte.
Ja, im Jobcenter bin ich aufmerksam geworden. Was kann man hier schreiben? Unter 3.
Ja. Jobcenter bin ich auf Ihre Anzeige aufmerksam geworden.
Sehr schön. Aufmerksam auf
Notiert.
etwas. Auf etwas.
Okay.
So that way, if you go through, I'm sure you'll be able to solve this. It's not a difficult exercise. Okay, let's see whether we can close this properly. Über die Gelegenheit zu freue ich mich sehr und mit freundlichen Grüßen. Über die Gelegenheit zu Was kann man hier schreiben?
Eine persönliche Vorstellung.
Schön, sehr schön. Very well done, well done. So einer persönlichen Vorstellung freue ich mich sehr. A standard letter. A kind of a template to help out. Don't memorize it at all, please. But if the need arises and you have to write a letter, put it down using a few of these phrases. Right? Okay, so let's now go on. Das ist jetzt fertig. This is a work contract. Ein Arbeitsvertrag. Lesen Sie die Auszüge aus einem Arbeitsvertrag und kreuzen Sie an, ob die Aussagen richtig oder falsch sind. You have to compare this with something. These are extracts from a work Arbeitsvertrag. There will be a lot of legal terminology in this, which we don't need right now, so I'll let go of it. But this can run into 10 to 12 pages. Sometimes 4 to 6, but definitely not less than that. Almost all points thinkable, conceivable, probable, possible are covered in this. So Probezeit, Arbeitsvergütung.
99% it will be in German only.
Yes.
Whatever be the size of the company.
Yeah.
Even in Bosch, we issue only in German.
Yes, it is to be in German. Otherwise, it's not valid. Because it has to go stand on its own in a German court of law. So Arbeitsvergütung bedeutet remuneration. Vergütung, remuneration or compensation. Yeah, so abbreviations are used, which one must know. MTL is monatlicher. Der oder die Arbeitnehmer oder Nehmerin erhielt eine monatliche Bruttovergütung. Was ist Bruttovergütung?
Gross.
Gross. And what is the other one that you get? Brutto und?
Netto.
Netto. Genau. Right? Then your Urlaub is covered under this. Then Krankheit, Kündigung. They were very brief points. I had one somewhere with me, unless I removed it. And nice longish words, longish sentences, legally precise. Ein Arbeitsvertrag, so sieht es aus. Und man unterschreibt es, sowohl der Arbeitgeber als auch der Arbeitnehmer oder die Arbeitnehmerin. Ja. Also das ist dann beiderseits unterschrieben worden, mit dem Datum und dem Ort. This is a Leseübung, so you have to find out after reading, ist es richtig oder falsch. Since I don't expect this at the exam level, we can safely leave it out. So I'm not very worried about this. This is not, there are so many other topics that can be covered, not this legal aspect. But as you have observed or seen just now, even the legal aspect in the form of a Vertrag is covered in the B2 syllabus. So it's very comprehensive. As a B2 student, you are expected to know a lot more German than the B1 learner.
Als die Landesbürger.
Ja.
Wir Ausländer, ja, wir kennen mehr als die Bürger.
Natürlich, also das ist auch umgekehrt so. Wenn ein Deutscher nach Indien reist, er weiß viel mehr über Indien als wir selbst. So same thing here. When we go to Germany, we expected to know more than the Germans themselves. That's okay. That's nothing very unusual there. Okay, so here Ambition über das Leben selbst, Leben und Leben selbst.
Just one small comedy thing
Yeah.
which I wrote, because uh, we are not supposed to wear chappals during car driving as per the law. Only shoes are allowed.
Chappals can get stuck in the pedals.
That's what. When I say this, most of the Germans, they don't know this.
It's mentioned in fine print. Nobody reads the fine print.
If I am caught, if I am even the police is checking my license, and if they see I am with my chappals instead of shoes, then I'm charged the 60 euros.
There is a rule for everything. Remember we spoke about DIN the other day, DIN?
Sorry, I
Read
stopped.
it.
No, what I want to say is even we Germans know more these rules and regulations than Germans. That's what I want to say.
Ja, die Einheimischen, die sind nicht alle mit allen Regeln bekannt. Okay, so einige Cartoons hier. Also zum Grinsen, zum Lächeln. Now look at this cartoon here. Yeah, let's see if I can bring it up. Cartoon is cartoon, huh? You don't have to translate it into any other manner. Also dieser Mann sitzt in einem Kinderwagen oder ein Wagen und er wird geschleppt. Und der Anblick des neuen Firmenwagens löste bei Krause starke Zukunftsängste aus. Was ist auslösen? Zwei Wörter hier. Auslösen und Zukunftsangst.
Zukunftsangst is future threat or nearby threat.
Zukunftsangst. Was bedeutet Zukunft?
Future.
Future. Angst und Angst.
Afraid.
Fear.
Fear. Yeah, to be afraid, to be scared. So what is Zukunftsangst?
Futuristic fear.
Fear of the future.
Future, yeah.
Und auslösen?
Solution.
No. To cause.
Lösung.
No, to cause. Verursachen. Auslösen is to cause, to trigger, to start. So if you, Krause here, this is Krause. When he looked at the neue Firmenwagen, was ist ein Firmenwagen?
Official vehicle.
Company.
Yeah, the company car.
Yeah.
So looking at the new company car, this is the driver. This is the new company car. So looking at this the new company car, the Anblick, the view of the new company car caused fear of the future, very strong fear of the future to this person, Krause. If this is the situation today, the company cannot afford a car. They give you a cart, the employee is put in the cart, and this man pulls the cart. So what is going to happen in the future? Right? So a pessimistic view of things to come. Right? And so the next one here. Also die Krähe fragt die Schweineltern. Das ist die Krähe und diese Krähe, the crow, or the Rabe if you want, the raven. Sie werden mit Ihrem Sohn nicht mehr fertig. Wo ist das Problem? Okay, now the parents here. Die Schweineeltern, Mutter und Vater. Er will nicht mehr in der Erde wühlen oder faul in der Sonne liegen und grunzen. Ja? Schlucks, ich weiß einfach nicht mehr weiter. Da sagt der andere Elternteil, das could be a Mutter, seit Wochen hat er sich nicht mehr im Matsch gesuhlt. Helfen Sie uns, Herr Doktor, unser Kind verhält sich nicht artgerecht. We need the word art. Und dann gerecht. Art here, the art means species belonging to a particular kind. And gerecht is corresponding to, equal to, justified to. The complaint here, seit Wochen hat er sich nicht mehr im Matsch gesuhlt. Matsch. Mud. All this is mud and dirt and wet earth and so on. So since weeks now, he has not been rolling around in the mud. Helfen Sie uns, Herr Doktor, unser Kind verhält sich nicht artgerecht. So our child is not behaving as a pig. Der trägt einen Anzug und hat ein Handy und eine Aktentasche. Er will in die Schule gehen, einen Beruf ausüben. So he's not behaving like we are behaving like pigs. And
Urachnen. Yesterday I read the word.
Yeah. And here, I will nicht mehr in der Erde wühlen. He doesn't want to roll around in the dust and in the mud and in the swamp and all the dirt. Or lie lazily in the sun and happily make noises. Grunt. Grunzen is to grunt. What a pig makes, no? The sound of a pig making is grunzen. Schlucks. Oh God, ich weiß einfach nicht mehr what. I don't know what to do with him. And this advice is needed by this doctor who's a crayer, a crow. So in a way, societal critique, parents have images of their own children, what they should be doing, but a child today wants to be somebody different. He doesn't want to do what the parents are doing. So a critique gegen die Gesellschaft. Every parent wants the child to be like himself or like herself. Well, most parents do, at least. Let's look at it from the historical perspective. But this person doesn't want to be. I had one student who became a German teacher later. His father was a goldschmied in Hyderabad, a goldsmith, making gold ornaments. He used to sit he told me he had a shop very close to the Charminar, that famous monument in Hyderabad. That's the old city area, Altstadt. And his father would make gold ornaments, including beating gold into shape.
But the Charminar area is normally with a gold covering area. It's not gold, actual gold. Am I right?
No.
If I remember my...
Charminar doesn't have any gold on it at all. But that's an area, it's an old city. It's called the Altstadt. That's the old city. That's where all these jewelry shops and the old world gold and silver smiths are located.
Gold covering area.
Not covering in what sense? The building is covered? No, not Charminar.
No. That area, the entire street.
Oh no, there are lots of other shops also, but the concentration of goldsmiths and silversmiths is quite heavy in the Charminar area. They have small shops. These are age-old permissions
Yeah,
and
petty
pattas they
shops.
received from the Nizam. Yes, they're still continuing there. That used to be the predominant area. That was the city close to the palace. That part. So most of the goldsmiths, the silversmiths, the jewelry guys, the pearl shops, embroidery shops, all what was needed as regal finery by the kings and queens, they were close to the palace. So it's predominantly a goldsmith area. So the student of mine, his father was a goldsmith. This fellow wanted to be away from that profession. He told me clearly, I don't want to be a goldsmith. Ich möchte Deutsch lernen, ich möchte Deutschlehrer werden. I said, but what's wrong in the profession? Gefällt mir nicht. Das ist zu monoton. Das ist langweilig. I said, yeah, and you think a lehrer's profession is interessant? You're also teaching the same thing day in, day out for years together. So don't you think that is monotone or langweilig? So it's a question of attitude. It's a question of perspective. It's a question of Denkweise. Also hier, die Schweineeltern sind sehr, sehr traurig. Der Sohn macht nicht so, wie es erwartet wird. Oder hier. Do you know this word touche?
Leider nicht.
Touche. Any idea? Das ist ein Wort aus dem, ja, touche. There's an accent here on the E. See this here. Touche. Das Wort kommt aus dem Sport. Also on, how can I put this? There is no German word for it. Okay, let's put it this way. Wenn ich in einem Argument bin mit jemandem und mein Partner oder mein Gegner, mein Opponent, hat etwas sehr Gutes gesagt als Argument oder ein sehr gutes Argument präsentiert, dann sage ich, touche. Touche. Then I say touche to my partner. He has presented an excellent argument, and I acknowledge that by saying touche. This comes from the sport fencing. Fencing is an Olympic sport fought with swords. The swords are called épées, E-P-A-A, or épée. It's a very thin, narrow blade it has got. And in this sport of fencing, the object is to touch the opponent on certain parts of the body to score maximum points. The swords are real. The only difference is they normally blunt the tip of the sword with an electronic sensor, and the body suit that is worn by the sports people also has got sensors on it. So depending on which part of the body you touched with the sword, points are scored. So the moment you score a point, or you score a crucial point like above the heart, you score a crucial point, then you immediately call out, or the umpire calls out, the referee calls out, touche. So it means, oh, you made a wonderful point. you've hit the nail on the head. That was absolutely correct. Touche.
Is it widely used in Germany? Because I never heard in my badminton court.
No, not in badminton. Badminton, touche
No, no,
is
no.
not there.
But no, if it is a common word to appreciate my opponent,
Yeah.
I can use it in any
say
sport.
that. Oh, yes. If suppose it's a long rally, it's a very long rally. I had a video also here for you. If you have a very, very long rally and that person scores a brilliant point against you, you can acknowledge it by saying touche.
Okay.
Nothing wrong.
I tried today evening.
Touche. Good one. Good point. Touche. You got me there. This is fencing. So as you can see, this épée is touching this here. Yeah.
And I could remember, sir, that from India, some lady has won some.
From
Yeah,
Chennai.
Yeah. She didn't win.
yeah.
No, she didn't win, but she was, I think, in the quarterfinals, which is very good.
Something.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
highlight is she is from a poor
Family.
Hindu
Yes, I
priest
think
family.
Rajeshwari.
No,
I think.
she is from Chennai.
Yeah,
She is
but
from a
I think
poor
Rajeshwari.
Tamil Hindu priest family.
Rajeshwari, I think, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is that. The moment you touch, touche.
Touche. Okay.
It's a French word. It's a French word. Yeah, so, okay. So this cartoon is also something similar. Das ist im Flugzeug oder in einem Bus wahrscheinlich. We have this person talking very loudly. Very, very loudly. Okay, maybe some nonsense he's talking. Ja, hello, haha, nein, bin ich noch unterwegs. Knödlingen, Video, and all kind of nonsense. Das Hotel war super, ja, ganz super, da und so weiter und so weiter. And then at the end he says, ja, ich erzähle dir später, ich kann hier nicht reden. I'll talk to you later, I can't speak here. And the rest of the bus is reacting with this. Schön wär's. So what does this mean here? Schön wär's.
That's all. Thank God you finished like that.
Yeah, so that is a touche. So finally you've come to the point, and we appreciate that here. That this is not the place to talk like this. Right? So you have people, jokes, humor taken from everyday life. This is all from German newspapers. Oder hier zum Beispiel. Typisch Sportwagen. This is actually a Kinderwagen. Look at him criticizing it. Typisch Sportwagen. Verdeck offen. Große Klappe und zu schnell. Typical sports car. Open top, huge mouth, and traveling too fast. Look at the person himself. Ja, vielleicht ein Büroangestellter in der 30er Jahren, also in den 30er Jahren vielleicht, etwa 30, 35. And very critical of the present generation. Aber man muss lernen, zusammen zu leben. Now look at this picture here. Das ist in einem Lift, Fahrstuhl. Da gibt es diese Leute hier, sie stehen schon da. Und da gibt es dann diese, was für ein Tier ist das? Nein,
Eichhörnchen oder?
Hansen.
Nein, 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 nein.
Hansen.
Hase, Hase.
Hasen.
Das ist ein Hase. Der Hase, die Hasen. N-Deklination, please. Der Hase, maskulin Nomen mit N im Plural. Und dieses Nomen hat einen N, also eine N-Deklination. Okay, so please remember this. Hase, a hare. A rabbit or a hare, H-A-R-E. So, wer nicht an den Osterhasen glaubt, sieht auch nicht dessen Probleme. So, what does this mean? Osterhasen. Was bedeutet das Wort Osterhasen?
Hase
East.
aus Ostrich.
Nein. Nein, das ist Ostern.
Okay.
So, was ist ein Osterhasen? Ein Osterhasen findet man zu Ostern. Also ein
Christmas. Easter.
nein, Easter.
Ja.
Im April.
Ja, Ende März oder April ist das diesmal. Also ich bin ja den Tag nicht sicher. I'm not sure of the day. So, das Osterhase ist eine Tradition. You have to look at a little bit of the
Eier.
Christmas Tradition. Ja, Ostereier gibt es auch. So, Osterhase und Ostereier, they both symbolize fertility. Both of them. Because Ostern is the time, if you look at it from the biblical sense, it always falls during springtime. März, April, Frühling. So in springtime, you have the flowers, the buds, everything blooming, coming to life, things becoming green and so on. So the symbolism here is a hare from the biology and the biological zoological point of view multiplies very rapidly. I think within every 3 months, the female hare is ready to give birth to babies. So the reproduction rate is massive for a hare. And there's something like, they also have a big litter. About 10 or 12 babies are born at the same time. So some statistics was given somewhere how many babies can one pair of rabbits reproduce per year. So it shows fertility, so growth and the life going on, weiter again. But you have to believe in this Osterhase and Ostereier. As you can see, the Ostereier sind alle bunt gefärbt. They're all colored. This is a game for children to find these eggs, symbols of fertility, as they are the symbols of future. So if you don't believe in them, many people don't. It's used as a spiel, basically. As a child, yes, you do believe in certain things. But once you grow up, you stop believing in that. So der Satz hier sagt, wer nicht an den Osternhasen oder Osterhasen glaubt, sieht auch nicht dessen Probleme. If you don't believe in the Easter hare, you will not also see its problems. For example, in this picture, the Osterhase can't reach the buttons. But none of the people here believe that there is a rabbit or a hare in the lift. So if you do not believe in something, you will also not understand that problem. So to understand a problem, you have to look at it from that perspective, from that point of view. So if you don't see a problem from that perspective, from that point of view, you will never understand what the problem is. And this cartoon is valid in a country, in any country in Europe, because they have this concept of Osterhase, which we don't have here. So vielleicht fällt es uns schwer, an Osterhasen zu glauben. Maybe it's difficult for us to believe what is the Osterhase.
Sir, before moving to the next page, can I ask for one repetition?
Yeah,
Please excuse me. That end declination with this Hasan. Why we need to have Hasan here? Just could you please recollect?
der Hase, masculine noun, plural ist N, Hasen. Der Hase, singular, plural,
Yeah.
die Hasen. So all masculine nouns which form their plural with N or EN will and must use the plural ending even in accusative, dative, and genitive singular. Ich frage einen Studenten. Ich helfe einem Studenten. Das Buch eines Studenten ist hier auf dem Tisch. Akkusativ Singular, Dativ Singular und Genitiv Singular. Alle dieser drei Formen haben N mit dem Nomen. This is called the N declination, which we dealt with, I think, way back in the second lesson of the first book.
Yeah, that's right. Because on the day I was in my car, I could not able to concentrate, so I missed that important topic.
Right. This is that N declination.
So the basic rule is, yeah, I need to add N for all the masculine
Singular forms.
nouns. That's all. Simple, singular nouns.
But only those nouns which form their plural, only those masculine nouns which form their plural with N or EN. They are student, the studenten. Only
No, it's
for
quite normal. No,
masculine.
what is the specialty here? That's what I'm missing. Sorry.
Ich sehe einen Freund, not einen Freundin.
Is there einen Freund?
Yeah,
Yeah.
why not Freundin?
Okay, their Freund. So is there einen Freund?
Hmm.
Simple. So it's easy for me. Yeah.
No. What is the plural of Freund?
Freunden. Die Freunden.
Freunde.
Okay. Studenten. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So the male or the masculine nouns which has en form in plural should have an n declination even in singular.
In accusative, dative, and genitive singular.
That's right. That's what I in all the three classes.
Yes.
Even in singular, I need to have. Super.
But not in
I'm missing this
nominative.
point.
Not in nominative.
No. Okay. Okay. Except nominative. Okay.
So when they
Superb.
become the
Thank you so much.
objects, yeah, not at all. When they become the objects, then this is compulsory. So that is why I drew your attention to this. Bitte Endeklination. An den Osterhasen. See the N here.
Got it. Got it. So the rule is
Yeah.
very simple. The
Yes.
masculine, again, I'm repeating it for my understanding. For the masculine nouns which has or which have
Yeah.
en for plural making
Yeah.
should have n even in singular in accusative, dative, and genitive classes. That's the rule.
Right. That's it.
Super. Got it.
Okay. So, oh, it's already time. Hmm. This is about people and vocabulary in general. Und Stereotypen von Männern und Frauen. Männer sind anders, Frauen sind anders. So we are talking about gender differences now. We talked about jobs, now gender differences. So the
Gender
thema
differences
is
in sport.
wieder anders. So we'll take this up tomorrow, and we'll also do the relative pronomen with a change. So please do have a quick look at your relative pronomen. I think we did a fairly big exercise with that. You recall, all of you?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Huge exercise. So if you can just revise that relative pronomen
Yes,
I want, we'll take up a slightly different version, slightly different, and see how that is used in German. So, gibt es noch Fragen? Habt ihr noch Fragen?